Hey everyone, I'm Zach, and this is Micah, and this is the behind the scenes of our new video, Zombie Girl, and we're just gonna be watching the video and giving some behind the scenes commentary and talking about any interesting things that happened during production and stuff like that. So let's start.
Right.
So, actually, hold on, pause it. So something about all the cameras in this, almost all the cameras. So I wanted to have like a certain distinct camera style for this video. So almost every camera is tilted in every single shot. So it'll be like this, and every shot is like moving in some way. I don't think there's any completely still cameras throughout this whole video. It's always moving, so that there's always this sort of like energy to it. And the tilting is supposed to kind of give you the feeling that like something's not right and everything's kind of like, you know, off balance in a more literal sense. And the camera work kind of like, you know, aids that point. So yeah, I mean, that's the reason that's like that.
So before we go any further, actually, I think you should probably say how you even came up with doing this in the first place. This was your idea.
Well, I had heard this song a few years ago, and I've just been listening to it like in the background, just on my own time for, I mean, years. And I never really thought about doing a music video about it until, I mean, only a few months ago. And I just thought it was finally a good idea to, you know, try and do something different. Because, like, I mean, we've been doing video game-based songs. Well, I mean, I guess Minecraft's technically a video game. But stuff based on other properties like Five Nights at Freddy's or Doki Doki and stuff like that. And I just thought it'd be nice for, you know, a change of pace in, like, the music video area to have something that's, you know, a bit more unique. So, yeah.
And the what I heard from Zachary is that the original Zombie Girl animation made by
Puka Garukis, I think is how you say it.
Okay. Actually inspired some of the facial expressions that were used in some other videos actually that we made.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think there's like a shot in Just Monica somewhere where one of the faces were inspired by the original MMD animation Puka made of this Zombie Girl song, Macabre Rotting Girl. And I mean, just that animation in general is like, I really like it. And that's what, like, a lot of the shots from this video are like recreated versions of her. So like her music video. So like huge shout out to her for, you know, making the original for us to like get all this inspiration from.
Yeah. Because a lot of it was from that animation originally.
Yeah, and a huge thanks to Kathy for, you know, making the song and making me listen to it over and over so I would make the music video. But
right.
Yeah,
let's continue.
Png Clouds.
Oh yeah, actually I want to talk about that. So, alright, stop. Okay, so originally when we were entering the lighting stage for this animation, we were gonna have volumetric smoke throughout like almost every scene, but it ended up taking like 20 minutes a frame to render, so we were just not gonna get it out on time if we were gonna do it that way. So what I did is I got some smoke videos on YouTube and put them in After Effects and just took away the background, and I just made them on a flat plane and put them behind the characters in every scene, so it's just flat smoke in every shot, and that reduced the render times from like 20 minutes a frame to like 2 minutes. So
I think for what it is though, I mean, the smoke turned out good. I don't think many people noticed.
There were some things I didn't account for though that I noticed later, and we didn't have time to re-render. Like the lights in front of the characters actually shone onto the smoke planes. So sometimes when the lighting moves, you can actually see like a flash of light on the smoke, and it's kind of I hadn't thought about that, so yeah. My bad. So yeah.
All the things that make me cheerful.
This is our first video to have like a character with like full dynamics.
Yeah, fully dynamic dress and hair. Before, I actually don't think we had any before.
Yeah, any other characters we had that had a dress or yeah, she probably any character that we had before that had, you know, moving hair or like a dress or something like in Doki Doki, it was like all hand animated, which was not the most efficient way to do it.
So bad. It was so bad.
Me and Micah are not very great at dynamics, so we didn't really have any other way to do it. But with this video, we had a really talented team help us with all the dynamics, and a lot of stuff in this video was actually done by like the team. But specifically dynamics, we could not have done.
Yeah,
without
they
their help.
totally saved us on that end.
Yeah, so
we have no clue how to do it.
Thank you all those people who helped us do dynamics on this video. We really appreciate it.
And actually, this part right here with it's showing on screen, the smoke and the explosion, that's another thing we haven't done before. Pixel Frosty actually simulated those smoke plumes and the giant explosion that comes out of the tank, because we haven't done anything like that before too, and I think it turned out really well. But that was the one shot in this video that took really long to render. It was like 10 minutes a frame.
Yeah.
So I think it was worth it though, because it looks really, really nice.
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
So good job, Pixel Frosty.
The zombies in this, we wanted to, you know, not have them all be the exact same like Steve skin.
Because Steve's in the video.
Well, yeah, that too. I never really thought of it because of that actually, but that's a good point.
Well, yeah.
we didn't want every zombie to look copy pasted, so like some have shirts, some don't, some have like different colored shirts or pants, and it's all like mixed up and stuff like that. Oh, also something I want to say is like huge shout out to Achebe, because he did all the textures on all the characters.
I was just about to mention that, yeah.
And like some of the props too. He like hand painted, well not hand painted, he painted in Blender by hand all the textures on all the characters and all the different variations of the zombies. So like huge shout out to him for doing that, and I think it turned out really, really well in this style. So
well, on that point, you should probably mention why you even chose to do it that way.
I think it was Achebe's idea actually, because he had shown like it was just gonna, I think, be regular Minecraft pixel skin, but like I still planned on doing the hair like this, and then I think it was Achebe who offered the option of doing it this hand painted texture way, because he had shown me in Blender that was an option, and so I said like just try a version and like see how it turns out, and it turned out like really well. So
I actually didn't know that it was Achebe's idea.
No, it was Achebe's idea.
Don't you still have a picture of what she looked like before she had HD textures?
No.
No?
No, I don't do.
If we do find it, it's right here.
It's probably not there.
I just pointed the controller at the camera.
You just turn off the camera.
But I'm gonna pause the whole thing right now. Why am I stopping? I'm just gonna pause it anyway. Okay, here we go.
Okay, pause. Wait. So, with these three, I think, consecutive scenes here, I had a hard time deciding where in the map she should be, because she had been in the city, and I thought it was like looking a little repetitive because we had just been in the city when it started, and I couldn't figure out whether I wanted it to be in the city or not. So I was like seeing if I could maybe put her in a different map for this scene, and it was like getting really complicated. Like these were like some of the last shots to get like finished in layout, and then Micah told me like it's fine. So I just put her in some weird places in the map. Like in the first shot, she's sitting on a tank. And then on the second shot, she's standing on the top of a sign. Don't ask how she got up on that sign, but it's like way up where the buildings are. So, I mean, just...
Well, on about the tank, by the way, I knew for that one shot where all the zombies are like there's a top-down view showing like a ton of zombies all walking, and it shows the tank explode. Zachary knew that there was going to be a tank needed for that part, so he just told me, Micah, make a tank, and I was like, okay. But it ended up taking so much longer than I anticipated. I think I worked on that tank for like 3 or 4 days, and then we were disappointed because, I mean, it turned out really high quality, but then it was like, we're only going to get to see it in one shot.
Yeah.
So then he also included the tank where she's sitting on the barrel on that part, and we ended up using it at the end where it shows the zombie apocalypse sponsorship thing.
Yeah.
So we got a few uses out of it.
Yeah.
But I have pictures of it that we can actually show right here. A few pictures of that tank. So
hopefully we can use it again in maybe some other animation too, because it turned out like really nice.
yeah, I spent so long texturing that tank. I was just in there for days.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this shot right here, the brains shot, was actually the first thing to get animated in this whole video. Like even before any of the layout, because we had just finished like the first concept of this character model. So that was like the first thing I animated as a test animation, and it wasn't even really supposed to end up in the final, but everyone really liked the test. So
yeah, it was just really good that I recommended to him that we just keep it because I think it was really good.
Yeah, so we did keep it, and that was like supposed to just be a test animation, but it's in the final music video.
I wasn't this hostile, but now my mind is gone. You've been away for too long. Struck by
Those are also PNG clouds. Those aren't actual clouds there.
Yep.
I was glad to see you.
Just that part right there where she gets up when she's first a zombie and then she like kind of turns into a human, like it turned out like so seamless, like on accident, because I was trying to make it like you could really see it fading into like the human version, but like the way she like dipped into the shadows and came out like as a human was like so unintentional, but it worked like perfectly.
The hair and dress dynamics are actually different on both of those shots.
The hair's the same, but the dress dynamics are different. So I feel like, I think there's some point where you can kind of see the dress change, but you have to be looking like really close to be able to see that.
Yeah, we were kind of worried that it would look too different, that it would not even look like it was fading properly.
Yeah.
But it ended up looking even better than what we originally assumed. This is my first time doing a lot of running, actually, because I haven't done a lot of that before. I think it turned out looking pretty good.
You did something way deeper down though, right?
No, that was Seth's run cycle. I just did an animation layer on top of it where she's like flailing her arms.
Oh,
But on this, I actually made the base run cycle, and I think it turned out pretty good, because I was really worried that I wouldn't even be able to make something half decent looking, but I like how it turned out. Plus, I actually found out about, it's a shame because this is our last Blender project, but I found out an important animation tool that I hadn't known about ever since we started, which is like, in Maya it's called animation layers, where you can have a base animation, but then you can also set a fresh timeline where the animation's still going, but any new keyframes you set will like combine with the keyframes before, so you can animate like arm flailing or different movements while keeping that base run cycle there still. But it's a shame that I found out about it now, because now we're not going to use Blender anymore. So
yeah.
Muzzle Flash PNG.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to talk about this. That was not pleasant. You get a nice close up of like the hand painted textures on the part.
Yeah. It all looks really natural, the textures with the deformation of the mouth and the eyelids and stuff.
Yeah.
Looks like it's actually skin.
Everyone's been comparing this part to that one scene in Doki Doki.
Well, because you did that on purpose.
Did I say that?
Yes, you said you did that on purpose.
I don't think it said I did that.
You
on
said
purpose.
you did that on purpose.
I guess I did then. I don't remember.
She does
that.
the same action with her hand.
Well, I didn't mean that to be like a reference to Doki Doki. I just kind of had like the same idea
He
twice.
did the same thing in Skeleton Rap too. That's not a coincidence.
He doesn't do this to him in
Well,
Skeleton
no,
Rap.
but he does the same thing where he's against the wall, and you did that on purpose. So there's
That
no
that
way-
was on purpose. in
You
Skeleton
couldn't have
Rap.
done something on purpose and then not do it on purpose the other time
Blah,
after.
blah, 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 blah.
And blood splatter PNG as well.
Yeah. It's like we haven't really had this much blood in any video, except for that one old Atlantic Craft animation where the
that's
mom
so
gets
much
her hand
blood.
squished in the tree. Like it's way worse than this. And if anyone was like grossed out by this one, they'd have not seen that one yet.
Oh yeah, one thing I want to mention is a lot of the scenes that we rendered in this video with zombie girl Kathy's dress there was actually a lot of points where her skin was clipping through the dress, and I had to go into Photoshop and meticulously fix like every frame that had a dress clipping in it, and I had to draw over it. Like I must have fixed like 100 frames. It took so long, and my computer just happened to like stop liking me, and Photoshop every time I open it on my computer just wanted to crash, and every action I would take would freeze the program for like a minute, and then I'd have to go into Zachary's computer and do Photoshop there, and that was probably one of the most frustrating things for me, just sitting there every frame. That one shot where she's putting her arms up and she's shaking her hips, I think like half of that shot is all drawn dress. It's like, it was so bad. I think there was 50 frames I had to redraw on that shot alone. It was so bad.
I don't think anyone noticed though. If you did notice, let us know.
Well, I forgot, so that means I did a pretty good job.
It's gonna be weird if this ends and we have nothing to say.
And now a message from our sponsor.
Very type of response.
Yeah, one thing is, this whole end sponsor part animation was all rendered in Eevee for time's sake, but I don't think it actually looks that bad. It was
For
like,
Eevee at least.
yeah, compared to like 2 or 3 minutes a frame on the rest of the video, this was like 17 seconds a frame, I think. And this whole beginning part that's like 700 frames long had to be re-rendered, because if you could see those spotlights going like that across the floor, I used to have it volumetric, or actually I still do in this, but you could see the volumetric cone shining onto the ground, but then later when the shot pans up, you could just see blank sources coming from nowhere, and then I was like, ah! Because I had spent so long rendering that, because, I mean, it is Eevee, but still rendering that shot took like 4 hours, because there's 700 frames. So what I had to end up doing is just when the shot pans up, the lights just go away. Whatever helicopter was coming from is gone, apparently. So
You,
This
Mr.
is
Zombie.
another place where we just put the tank because we thought it looked cool.
I just wanted to ask
Wasn't
if you had
used
anything to
enough
say
to
to
make
Oh,
some
and
somebody
videos.
who's at home.
the barrel of the tank, when it shoots, is very conveniently strategically placed right behind the zombie's back, so we didn't have to do any simulations for it being shot.
Yeah, we just made a light shine behind his head so that we don't need to actually make a muzzle flash or anything.
Yeah.
No, God, please don't eat me.
If you're
I
looking
don't know
for
where I
good
got
video
the idea
editing
to do
software,
this
Filmora
thing
9
where you like
got
kind of
you
turn
covered.
smart. I feel like there's like something up here. Like I'm probably thinking of something subconsciously that did that when I made that decision to do that, but I can't exactly think of what it was. So I mean, if you guys think of anything that's like similar to this, let me know and I'll know it when I see it if it's based on anything. But I feel like it was.
So you might have noticed that the news reporter guy was voiced by Zachary, but also the zombified version of the zombie where he's all like, "Bleh." not the smart zombie, but the zombie was actually also voiced by Zachary. He recorded it right here in the studio, actually.
Yep. It's right over there on the other side of the studio.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna try and do the zombie voice. But brains. Something like that. But I have like voice modifications that I made in Premiere and FL Studio to my voice, and it made it sound like I couldn't even recognize it was me in the video when I did that voice and put all the stuff on it. It was like I like creeped myself out with that voice.
It was a little hard to understand what he was saying though, so we had to add subtitles.
I didn't think it was hard to understand, but Micah insisted on subtitles on the last scene.
Mostly because Seth thought it was saying something completely different and way worse.
Yeah, but that was without lip sync. Because when I added lip sync, and I thought it was much easier to understand what it was saying with the lip sync.
Well, maybe. I just didn't want anyone to think what Seth thought.
Thanks so much for watching.
So I think this is our first time doing this too. Having like a little animation happening, like, or actually we did one so long ago with like the Swag Pig series. We had a Swag Pig just dancing in the credits, and it was like an animation. But we haven't done anything like this, where there's like talking and stuff. But the whole reason we did this, because like, we wanted to keep people watching through the entire video, and if it was like just showing a bunch of credits, people like, you know, kind of fizzle out and get disinterested. But I thought this was a cool way to get people like, you know, stay and watch, because I mean I thought it was really cool to see her like actually talking instead of singing, and you know, for like actually pointing at the annotations and stuff. I had to like put the annotations as little models in Blender for her to point at, so I actually knew where she'd be pointing in the end credit scene. This is all animated by CloudX, this last scene, and it was a lot of frames as well, but he was able to do it, so good job to him. Yeah, that was the behind the scenes of Zombie Girl with me and Micah. Make sure to check out our Zombie Girl animation if you haven't seen it already. I mean, I'm assuming you've seen it if you're watching this video.
I don't know why you're watching this one first.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, I don't know why you started with this video, but go and watch it now if you haven't. And make sure to check out Kathy and Pukagaru Kiss for making the original animation and the original song. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.